After overcoming Lincoln City in the third round, West Ham United have drawn Arsenal in the fourth round of the Carabao Cup. A game at the London Stadium tonight where there is a return to former West Ham captain and Europa Conference League winner Declan Rice as a rather harsh welcome to the London Stadium is my prediction. I hope you are well. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. This is the Build Up Show and Team News Reaction. We are less than 15 minutes away from receiving Mr. Moyes and Mr. Arteta's lineup for tonight's game, and I'm delighted to say that Gary is joining me to discuss all of that. Gary, how are you?
I'm very well, Jake. Yourself?
Not bad.
Recovered from Sunday?
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it? I mean, yeah, not fantastic.
I couldn't get in, Jake. My ticket, the electronic ticket on the phone.
Oh, Dad said, yeah.
It had Brentford on it. Deary
me. Yeah, what a nightmare. Yeah, to be fair, it's probably best if you didn't get in, to be honest. You would have had a better afternoon, but no, it wasn't great. Our resident Spurs fan has joined us. David, thank you very much indeed for joining us. I'm sure you'll be backing us tonight over your good friends Arsenal.
I don't
know. Are they still in the Carabao Cup?
I don't know.
Oh, let's have a look. Oh, Christ, they got knocked out in the third round. Blimmin' hell. Let's see who else is joining us. Lawrence, I hope you're feeling better, mate. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Usual suspect as well. Right, we've got another guest joining us. Michael will be joining us a little bit later, but before then, let's welcome Curtis. Curtis, how are you?
Hello, lads. You all right?
Yeah,
evening, yeah, all good.
Not bad at all, mate. How are you feeling about this, mate? Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to it. Considering our last few performances and the last few results, the way Moyes is set up, shocking. But new game, new week. Let's see what happens.
Moyes needs a response today more than anything else, and I think it's probably the perfect opportunity to do just that. It's a cup game, it's a one-off, anything can happen. There's got to be a result on the night if needs be. Penalties will be after the 90 minutes. There's no VAR tonight as well, which adds an extra element to it. So there'll be is it a goal? Isn't it a goal? It is a goal if it is, which is a little bit nicer in my opinion. And I don't know. There just seems to be a feeling with all the factors to take into consideration with this, Gary. I've just got a funny feeling that if Moyes is going to have a response, it's got to be now.
Yeah, you're very, very interested to see what his lineup is, Jake, tonight. Very interesting. I really hope he doesn't start Ings because he was dreadful in Europe, and when he came on for 10 minutes on Sunday, he was just as bad as well. I mean, last kick of the game, he had all that space in the penalty area to pull the ball back, and he chipped it to the goalkeeper. So, I feel sorry for him because his confidence must be shot to pieces. Let's give the young lad a go up front tonight. Obama, that's what I would do.
I would, yeah.
I agree with that. What's a man got to do?
Exactly. He wasn't involved last night for the under-21s in their win over Newport. Gideon Kadua got the only goal of the game, which was good to see. But yeah, so Mubama and one of the other ones weren't involved, so that may suggest they could be at least Marshall. That's it. They could at least be making the bench tonight. I did a couple of previews last night. I did the main one, then I spoke to Cecil from AFTV, and I think everybody seems to be in agreement to an extent that this game could be a little bit more, out of the ordinary than probably some are expecting. I've just got a feeling that just the whole Rice factor and everything else. And I mean, we can't go 4 losses on the bounce. That will look horrific. So Moyes has to see a response from his players tonight, whoever he puts out. And I've got a feeling, Curtis, that Arteta's going to rotate heavily.
Yeah.
The thing is, Arsenal have got squads that they can rotate and they can bring players on that can still do damage. So Moyes has got his 11, maybe a couple that will come on that he thinks can do something. I think we've got a load of fringe players that are either can't be asked anymore, have lost faith in Moyes, or are just not good enough, or just don't work in the system that Moyes has got. So with Arsenal, they could rotate. They've got the league to think about. I think they want that more. But I think their players are going to want as much success as they possibly can get. Realistically, I don't think they can win any more than, let's say, 2 trophies this season. I don't think they'll win the Champions League. They could probably go and... If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'd probably want the FA Cup more than the League Cup. And I'd probably go after the League Cup and the FA Cup and the league. So it all depends. They've got a good camaraderie over there at the minute. All the spirits are high. They're a very young team that are still learning, but they're growing together. So who knows? The boys that come in that Arteta picks might be able to do a job for him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, that is for sure. I think just because of the element that this is a game where Moyes' fringe players have been exposed over the last few weeks. Lincoln was hardly convincing. A couple of the European games where he's given the squad players a go. I think painful is the word that comes to mind. It hasn't been great. So putting that into consideration, Gary, I'm assuming Moyes is going to go relatively strong tonight, in my opinion. We'll find out in 8 minutes' time, but what do you think?
I think for sure Paqueta and Alvarez will play because they're suspended for Saturday, so they must play. I'll be surprised if he makes... Fabianski will come in, so that's one change. I think Antonio will go out as 2, and then probably I wouldn't be surprised if Mavropanos comes in at the back, so there's 3. Other than that, maybe Thomas Tuchel will start. That's 4. Maybe one other. I think other than that, it'll be a pretty strong team. Same as Sunday, I think.
Yeah. I mean, those 2 players that are suspended for Sunday, you'd assume would start. So that's 2 relatively strong outlets in midfield. The midfields look very unbalanced in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Ward-Prowse has dropped a little bit deeper, and the sort of fundamental part of it that was working in the early stage of the season seemed to be lost. Moyes needs to rejuvenate that midfield again, Curtis, because currently it's looking ineffective, and we got bullied by, if we're being honest, a quite average Everton midfield on Sunday.
We got 4-1 against Villa. We underestimated Olympiacos massively. Everyone was saying that Freiburg was our hardest game. And as soon as the draw came out, I said, everyone's overlooking Olympiacos. They're a Champions League side. Let's not forget that. And I thought they were our strongest side. And I think we massively overlooked them. Didn't set up right for them. Didn't set up right for Everton. Missed a massive trick with Everton. We did get bullied. And I think Moyes has changed the slight positioning of certain personnel in that middle. And I think we've got to stick with Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, and Paqueta has to come central. Has to. He's wasted out on the wing. Yeah, he's got a good relationship with Emerson, but you need an out-and-out winger that's going to run in and beyond them fullbacks that are going to put the ball in the box. But then saying that, we don't play that way of football either. We like to cut inside and play through the middle. But I think Paqueta is more effective central.
100% agree.
I personally want to see, if we're going to go for a strong squad, Edson Alvarez and Ward-Prowse as your 2, and then Paqueta in front, supporting the attack.
Yeah. With Paqueta, it's an interesting point. I said it for a couple of weeks because Kudus has been shifted into this side. I think Moyes has got their positions wrong. I'd prefer to see Kudus on the wing and Paqueta down the middle. I've said it for weeks, and I think it was reinforced even more on Sunday because Paqueta was, I mean, if we're going to be honest, he was dreadful against Everton. He was really, really poor. You could tell he was getting frustrated because you could see it in the stadium. He was starting to chuck his arms up in the air. He was doing those stupid dives, and you could tell he was a frustrated player, and he's wasted out there. He is absolutely wasted, and he needs to be brought back in to the midfield where he can do his best work. And he's been dropping too deep as well. I mean, because of the tricks and skills that he likes to do, there isn't a limit to him. He'll do them anywhere on the pitch, which has dragged us into some trouble in recent weeks. I mean, at Villa, that was a bit of a hospital pass back to Alvarez. I think.
Can I mention something to that?
Yeah.
Everyone's saying about the pass. Yeah, it's a stupid pass, and it's an incompleted pass. But we still had a covering defender there, and that challenge that the defender made is absolutely diabolical. Especially talking where I've got experience of being a defender. He's got nowhere else to go other than back towards the corner flag. Let him go back there. He's not going to beat you on the bar line. There's no need to make that challenge and give an opportunity for an attacker to go down in the box and win a penalty. But although Paqueta's pass is absolutely dog, I think the challenge was just not needed. I think we could have recovered from that pass, but because we gave away that penalty, I think Paqueta's pass has been highlighted.
I've just sensed in recent weeks, Gary, that we've had midfield mistakes and defensive mistakes have just creeped in a bit more, and it's not helped us at all.
Yeah, a few things I could say there, Jake. When I saw the lineup on Sunday, I was in the stadium and I was talking to my mate next to me, and if a better team than Everton would have poured down that left-hand side with Paqueta and Cresswell. Now, I love Aaron Cresswell, don't get me wrong, but he's 33, his legs are gone, right? You would have just piled everything on there. Lucas isn't going to track back; he never does. So he should be, sitting behind the forward up front, whoever, Antonio, Bowen, whoever. Paqueta should be left free there to do a free roll. The other thing to say about Lucas Paqueta, I don't think he trusts Antonio. The amount of times he wouldn't pass to him, I just don't think he fancies him. I just think he looks at it and thinks, if I give it to him, we're going to lose it straight away.
It's good, and it's ain't going to look bad on my stats.
yeah. And honestly, that's what I think. I look at that. We need somebody stronger on the left-hand side to track back. And the number of times our midfield was undone on the weekend, you probably noticed as well, Jake, from the stands. Just one direct pass from the centre back straight to Calvert-Lewin. Went straight to our midfield, one pass. At Premier League level, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
We should make sure that's cut out, but it's not. We've got some serious deficiencies in our midfield. I think I saw a stat at the weekend on Match of the Day. I think we've let second bottom on the most shots faced this season. So Ariella made another blinding save on Sunday. We should have been 2 down at that time. We need to address midfield. At the start of the season, Alvarez was sat in front of the back 2, covering it a lot better. And then for some reason, he's played around formation. Ward-Prowse has dropped back, and Alvarez, I don't know where he was all weekend, apart from ballooning it into the stands. But it was just
I nearly caught it in the upper tier. Honestly, I nearly caught it. Right, just before we move on, Lawrence, thank you very much for the $10 donation. That's greatly appreciated. He says West Ham win it for a sick hammer in Kentucky. Yeah, I hope you feel better soon, mate. Thank you very much for that 2-1 to the Hammers. Says Lawrence. I would love that. I'd love it. Yeah, I put is it Kevin Keegan? Is that his name? I put that little GIF on Twitter earlier. I'd love it if we beat them today. Honestly, I would absolutely love it. The lineup is 2 minutes away, so I'll bring that when I get confirmation because I haven't had any rumours or nothing's come out yet. But let's bring on Mike. Mike, how are you?
Good evening, guys. Fine. Yeah.
Hey there, Mike.
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, back from your holidays.
Tanned?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah.
Where you been, Cornwall?
No, only Lanzagrotte again, but it was lovely.
Oh, good, mate.
Jolly good. Mike, we're 30 seconds away from the lineup being released, so I'm going to give you that 30 seconds to summarise your thoughts for this game.
Well, I'm a bit worried, really, to be totally honest. Yeah, it could be a bleeding cricket score if we don't get things right tonight. Honestly, mate, we're going into this game with zilch confidence.
I've just seen that lineup. Flipping.
Oh, is it? You've seen the lineup, have you? Is it going to make my thoughts even worse then, mate?
I don't know. It's interesting.
The confidence is just sat right out of them. We started the season well, and these last 3 games, and you can just see the belief has gone out of them. And we need something to go our way, and we need a bit of luck. And things can come back again, but I think the crowd tonight will have a big part to play in this game. I really do.
I'm astounded. Just before you speak, I'm astounded at the lineup. To be honest with you, I cannot believe he has not started Ward-Prowse in midfield. Let's have a look at this lineup. It reads Fabianski, Sufa, Mavropanos, Agerd, Emerson, Alvarez, Souček, Kudus, Paqueta, Benrahma, and Jared Bowen. So let's break this down. Sufal right back, Mavropanos and Agur, the centre halves. There is no Kurt Zuma anywhere in this squad. The club captain is nowhere to be seen. Fabianski takes the armband. Emerson left back. Alvarez sitting. Souček, Kudus and Paqueta, or Souček and Kudus, sorry, make up the midfield. 3, Paqueta on the left, Bowen on the right. Paqueta on the left, Ben Rama on the right, or something like that. And Jared Bowen is leading the line with no Divine Mubama on the bench either.
What's the point of leaving him out of the under-21s, under-23 squad yesterday and not even including him?
Unless he's injured, that is absolute lunacy. You look at that bench: Creswell, Kera, Cornet, all these players are going to have Ings are going to have absolutely no influence, right, whatsoever. Ogbonna, what's
Cornet, to be fair, Jake needs a run. We haven't seen him play, but I think we all agree Danny Ings should definitely 100% be replaced by Mubama. 100%. Everybody will say that.
Any thoughts, Gary? I'll start with you. Carry on. Do you like that? Because I don't.
I think it's pretty much as we discussed earlier on. It'd be very interesting to see how strong Arsenal have gone against that. Let's see how strong they've gone. I think it's good. They're good players. They're lacking in confidence. I like Kudus. I thought he started very well on Sunday. The more games he plays, the better. I'd be interested to see what midfield's going to be. So Souček and Alvarez will be the middle two, I guess. And then he'll play Bowen up front, I think. Bowen up front, Ben Rama one ring, and Kudus the other wing. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Curtis, your thoughts?
Well, a bit mixed, really. I thought there was going to be a couple of other personnel that wasn't possible. My biggest worry is he going to play Kudus up top, or is he going to play Bowen up top?
Good point.
Because personally, I think you should have Bowen out on the right and Kudus up top. Having said that, if Antonio was in the squad, I wouldn't have Antonio up top either. Because I want to see Antonio out on the left with Kudus up top and Bowen out on the right. Because Antonio was once upon a time the winner. And I think he's strong, he's quick, and he can get back to do defensive duties and give Kudus the freedom of in and around the box because he's a better finisher. Having said that, he's not in there. Ben Rama needs to up his game. He's been poor. Quet's been poor the last few games, but we know what Quet can do. But Souček in the middle with Alvarez, I don't think that's going to work, depending on the squad that Arsenal come with. Because if they've got Rice and Partey or Rice and Nene or...
Let's have a look, shall we? There's going to be some Rice smiles when you look at this because Declan Rice is on the bench for tonight's game. You certainly won't miss them because they're wearing that horrible yellow kit. Ramsdale returns in goal. Ben White, Kivior, Gabriel Zinchenko, Jorginho, Havertz, Vieira, Nelson, Trossard, and then Ketty. I read that just as you, Gary and Curtis were talking there, and I read that and I went, he's rotated. He is massively rotated. That is what I expected. I spoke to Cecil last night. He said Ramsdale will start, and he has in goal. There is rotation there. Look at that midfield: Jorginho, Havertz, and Vieira. Mike, if our midfield can get back to some sort of presence, should be winning that midfield battle.
Exactly.
It's nothing to be frightened of, mate, is it? To be totally honest, if you look at that, I don't know about our team. Like Curtis said, I think you might find Kudus playing up front.
Be interesting to see what does it.
It is him being the central player, honestly. They might swap a bit, him and Bowen, but I can see that happening. On our midfield, then it's going to be Souček, Alvarez, and Quetta. So, that's, a strong midfield against their midfield. So, I know they've got big guns to bring on, but it's nothing to be frightened of. We've got to go out and give it a go. But I'm just disappointed in our lineup, really. Bamba, what can he do? What's the lad going to do? Is because he's turned down his contract? Is he,
Not surprising.
Spat his dummy out, and as Moy said, well, that's it. Then I'm not putting you in the squad.
I wouldn't blame him if he's done that. To be honest with you, not at all.
Nor would I. But I tell you what, tonight I would have played a really strong team, and I'd have given him or Marshall are starting that team alongside a lot of good players. And that is the problem, is our mediocre, our second team players that we've been playing in, cup games and in Europe and whatever, they're all thrown in together. Whereas you really want them, lads like Marshall and Diven, they need to play with players like Paqueta and Kudos.
Yeah.
They get more, they've got more of a chance of doing something. That's what I would do personally. I'd mix it up like that.
Yeah, I'd rotate.
So here's a question. For the first time in a while, Mikel Antonio is in the squad tonight, but he's not in the starting lineup. Moyes has opted to either rest or drop Mikel Antonio after recent performances. And we discussed it a little bit there, but there could be... Do you think there could be a bit of fluctuation between who's up front? Do you think he might start with either Kudus or Bowen, and then it might change? I think because there is fluidity in that attacking line where there's all of the players can sort of all play the different positions. So if one's not working, then I think it's quite easily adaptable. If Kudus up front isn't working, it's an easy switch to put Bowen up front and switch them around. So do you reckon that might have helped Moyes' reasoning to not playing Antonio tonight? And do you like that, Gary?
Yeah, I like fluidity. I think Antonio's personally finished now. I think we've used that experiment for long enough, 3 or 4 seasons. He just, he's not a threat anymore, to be honest. He's not a threat anymore. So it'll be good to start rotating him out. We need to get someone in the window. He's obviously, as you said, Jake, throwing his toys out the pram about Mubama because he hasn't signed a new contract. But, that's a shame. Whether the kid's good enough or not, we don't know, but he deserves a go. As does Cornet, he deserves a go as well. You've got to try these players out if they play, they're not good enough. Well, we spent 17 million on Cornet or something. The lad hasn't played in 2 years. It's absolutely ridiculous. Give him a run of games. If he's no good, that's fair enough. We haven't even seen him. Danny Ings, we've seen lots of. And we all agree that he's not good enough. Antonio, I think we all agree, is no longer good enough. I don't know. I think we should also get a goal start for Arsenal's kit. That's disgusting.
Let's look at the positives, Curtis. And Danny Ings isn't starting.
How can he start? He's not warranted anything to start any sort of game, whether it be a cup game, Europe game, or Premier League. Certainly not the Premier League. But then again, we all know Danny Ings isn't a lone striker.
Exactly.
He's too lightweight. We don't play players in the right position, in the right formation, or in a certain way that they used to play. Look at Hilaire. We've gone and brought him off the back of European success with Eintracht Frankfurt, but he played in the 3 up top that all rotated and all worked together. Comes to West Ham, he's playing as a lone striker. We've done it with Hilaire.
And Skamaka as well.
Yeah, it's all similar.
And Skamaka, yeah. So it doesn't work. So you've either got to try and with a 2, with someone behind to link up play as well, or you've got to put someone like Antonio out on the wing, because when he's a striker, he likes running out into the channels anyway. You've just got to try and... It looks like he's trying to do different things, but he doesn't try the right things that all the fans can see is wrong, and all the things that fans want to see. So he's like, well, I've tried. And so I'm sounding a bit like David Sullivan here when you're trying to bid 2 pence for a player, and well, I tried and didn't get him. But we all know that Ings doesn't work. So maybe try and give. I don't think the Blammers throwing his boys out of his plan. I think he's well within his right if he's going to turn it down. He's probably thinking, well, I've already got a contract.
Yeah.
I've run it down for the past 18 months and he's not given me a fair looking. So why am I going to sign another 18 months, 2 years, 3 years?
Bang
If
on.
he's going to do it just sitting on the bench all the time. What's the point? And these players need game time. And I like the way that you said about Cornet. He's had a lengthy injury. Before he got that injury, he had the first few games and he did look a bit lively. Since his injury, he's not been given that consistent number of games. He's not. Everyone knows that fitness is a big thing, but match fitness and match sharpness is totally different.
Oh yeah.
You don't expect to gain match fitness and match sharpness if you're not playing the matches. And if you're playing with a load of fringe players that don't work, that are not used to playing with each other, it's never going to work. So
100% correct. you got to support these players. Say to Cornet, you can have 5 games now, son. See how you get on. And he's also destroying confidence. Pablo Fornals is destroyed. He knows when he starts, he's first off. He knows he is. No matter what he does, scores a hat-trick, he's off. The bloke, his head's gone, and he will be the first to hand a transfer request in January. I predict that. It's sat here now.
Yeah.
It's disgraceful how Moyes been treating him. Disgraceful. Sorry, David.
On the Fornals point, I see it to an extent, don't get me wrong, but Moyes has given Fornals chances and he has been very poor. I mean,
Not this
we
season.
can't deny that. He
started at Bournemouth, Jake, and he was quite good this season. One start this season.
He scored, came on as a sub and scored at AZ Alkmaar.
Even last week, though, was it? Did he play the Olympiacos game?
Yeah, he was poor there, but I think his confidence has gone down. I think he's gone.
Yeah. So yeah, 100%. These players are confidence players, and Moyes isn't. You know, he's never been well known to always put the arm around a player. You know, we've had this discussion with Ben Rama in the past, and we're back to square one with Ben Rama once again. He starts tonight. The issue that I've got with that front line, and Mike, I'll come to you, is there's a lot of predictability in there. We know what Ben Rama's going to do. He's going to get down the line. He's going to cut back in. We know what Bowen's going to do. He's going to get down the line, cut back in if he starts on the wing. It's similar with Kudus as well. It's very one-dimensional, is what I'll say.
It is, mate. But I'm talking about Ben Rama. He's gone off the boil. But I just think he's the sort of player that does need an arm around him. And Moyes ain't going to be that sort of manager for him. I just don't think he's ever going to really shine under David Moyes as manager. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like Gary said, you know, change the subject a bit. Fornals, again, I just don't think he's going to ever do anything with David Moyes as manager. And you know what? I think it's got to the time where they need to hear a new voice, these players.
Yeah.
Something has got to change. Something has got to change, because I can see this run going on for another 4 or 5 games. And if it does, well, the rumours are he's got 6 games. I don't know how true that is, you know, and a lot of people may say that's a bit harsh, you know, for the guy, what he's done for us. But I think it'd be better to do that before January if they're going to do it, and just start again. And these players, you might find that they might find a spark and go again. But I cannot see these players finding that spark again under this management. I really can't, which is sad, but I think it's reality.
I think it's probably symbolic as well with the lineup that he's put out tonight because of the big guns that he has put in there. Boys, my opinion. Gary, sorry.
No, I think Mike's 100% right. In all our jobs, if you do a good job, you expect to be praised and kept in doing that job. Now, basically, certain players in this team know tonight, for example, they'll come in like 4 now for the Olympiacos game. It doesn't matter what he did that game, he would have been dropped for Everton. Now, that shouldn't be like that. That's the trouble. That's the trouble with Moyes. He's got his favourites, and it shouldn't be like that. If you have a good performance, you drop. Antonio's been rubbish for weeks and weeks. Same last season. Suchek was rubbish for months. He picks the same old players all the time, and it must be so disheartening for people wanting to get in the team, thinking, if we were top of the league, win every game like Tottenham, you think, okay, fair enough, they stay in the team, but we're not. You know, people should be given a chance when we're not winning games if they're playing well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the staleness that Moyes has gone through, you know, into last season, into this season with specific players, hasn't helped these squad players, and I think it's been exposed in recent weeks because, as I said at the top of the show, you know, Lincoln was hard to watch, but we did get through. And Olympiacos was hard to watch last week, and a couple of other European games, if we're being honest, haven't been great when he switched things up a bit. Let's have a look at the Arsenal bench and see what firepower they have, if needs be, in the second half. Behind the keeper, Cedric, Tomiyasu, Saliba, Declan Rice, El Neni, Saka, Odegaard and Martinelli, the main 3 big guns to bring off of the bench. Listen, there's undeniable quality there. Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, if they need it. But I'd be encouraged if I was David Moyes, if I looked at that Arsenal team sheet, Curtis, to be honest with you, I'd be encouraged to say to those players, let's get into them early, rough them up a little bit, try and do them on the counter attack, maybe a set piece. Obviously, George James Ward-Prowse ain't there, so we probably won't say that. But let's really get into them because they can be exposed.
Well, I was going to say, when I see Souček in the lineup, I thought, oh, maybe he's going for set pieces and he's got a bit of height there for defending and attacking set pieces. And then I realised that Ward-Prowse wasn't in the starting lineup, so that threw that theory out of him.
Yeah.
But with their midfield, why can't Havertz play up top for him? Because he's absolutely dog, and we know that he won't be able to score. And Jorginho, he's old and washed. That midfield there of Jorginho and Havertz, they're not great. So I think they are there to be got back. If we can actually play our football, get the ball down and be smart, and everyone around each other's got to work for each other. Everyone's got a point to prove now because of how poor we've been. The players coming in that are not regular starters, they've got points to prove to try and play. Mavropanos leading the back, he's got a switch on with Aguerd and tell Aguerd not to do anything stupid. We've got Emerson back in the lineup, we've got Kufal back. Fabianski's there as a voice. We know he likes to speak. I think he speaks a lot more than Areola at times. He's probably goalkeeper, isn't he? So
I agree.
Commands his and demands his defenders. So I think that'll be good. It goes back to the point I made earlier. I personally think Kudus should start up front purely for the fact they've got Gabriel, who likes to bully play. If Bowen's up top, he'll just get bullied all day long. Kudus is naturally strong and bigger in height and stature. So he's the one that will be able to hustle and bustle with Gabriel. And they've got that Kiowa, who's supposed to be all right from what I've seen of him. So their defence and their centre mid are easier targets to get through. But they are going to know what we're going to do. If we go down the wing, we're just going to cut back, no matter who it is. Because we're one-dimensional, like you said, Jake. We've never been a team of late to run down the wings and get the ball in the box.
Because there's nobody been in the box because Antonio's been on the wing.
Exactly. He's the one that's crossing the ball in, you know what I mean? So, there is a bit to sort of look forward to with the centre mids. Like I said, Jorginho is crap. They've stuck now. And there are other centre mids. So, we'll see. But we've got to go out all guns blazing now.
Yeah.
But we've got Saliba to come on. If things start going a bit pear-shaped for them, but then their firepower and Odegaard is their master. He's like their locksmith. He can find little trick pockets and play a ball through. Martinelli is quality. Saka is quality. Rice to come on. I don't want anyone to be a bit too hasty on Rice. I know I see on TalkSport last night with Jason Cundy and that prick O'Hara. Sorry about the language. They're idiots because they've got no affiliation to West Ham.
Yeah.
They're not West Ham fans, so they don't.
They sit there and talk about West Ham all day. I'm convinced. It's like the West Ham show, the whole show.
No, and it's like you're not West Ham fans, so you don't understand. Yes, you're a player, and you don't want to see players get booed. We wouldn't have booed players like Rice for the fact of leaving. You know he's going to leave. It's just the way he left him, and the fact that he's going to win trophies. And he's going to pick Arsenal. It's not a guaranteed trophy enough.
Somebody put on Twitter earlier, if he went to City and we drew City, we'd all be relatively looking forward to welcoming him back to the club as a decent player, and he'd get a decent reception. That reception isn't going to be decent tonight.
I think a decent reception hadn't he said what he'd have to say. And listen, I understand there's media, but he should have turned around and said, "Look, you know what? I don't want to be disrespectful to West Ham. I don't want to." Whether he realised it or not, I'm not sure. But he should have thought about it and gone, do you know what, that sounds a bit disrespectful towards West Ham.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to say that. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so what if you say North London's home now? It is your home now because you're going to move. You're going to play for that club. That's fair enough. But saying I never knew football until I come to Arsenal, that's a PR stunt. He should have threw it back and said, no, I don't want to say that. He's rubbed up West Ham fans in the wrong way. And that's why
I agree. And also, you're right. I mean, 3 clubs came in for him: City, Bayern, and Arsenal. Now, the 4 of us would agree that City and Bayern are more likely to win anything than Arsenal. So the trophy thing is a load of rubbish.
100%.
They were never fully committed. I think Man City were there just to bump up the price a bit. I don't think he would have gone up north anyway.
No, I think that's genuine. I think they look at Rodri and they need a replacement. You don't fancy Phillips at all, does he, old Pep?
I agree. Yeah.
No, he doesn't. No. But
Just
he didn't want to be part of the deal either, did he?
No.
maybe that's
Oh,
what-
definitely not. No, he didn't want that, did he? Just talk about Souček for a minute. For the first time for what I feel like forever, in the first half of Sunday's game, somebody behind me said, "I tell you what, we miss Souček here." Because that midfield, honestly, somebody did say that midfield was struggling, and
Yeah.
when Souček came up, I'm not saying it got any better, but I thought it was just interesting that somebody actually said to their mate that we missed, a bit of physicality and a bit of height of Souček in there. And he's put back in for this game. I was surprised he dropped him, to be honest with you, Mike, on Sunday, but he's back in there and possibly with a point to prove.
Yeah, I mean, he played the whole of the European game, didn't he? He played the full 90 minutes, the Europa League game at Olympiacos. So, it's probably one of the reasons why he didn't start him on Sunday. But he's been decent this year, to be fair to him. He's been decent, and we've all slagged him off last year because he was atrocious at times. I mean, he couldn't pass the ball to save his life. He couldn't knock the ball 3 yards, and his confidence was totally gone. But I think we've seen a different Souček when Rice hasn't played. And he's been better this year. There's no doubt about it. But I think as a club, we've got to move on from that. We've got to move on from that now. And it's time to say, right, you've done a good job for us. Same with Kufel. He's been brilliant, an absolute warrior. Love them, both of them to death, because you've got to give it to them. They give it everything they've got, in every game. You can never knock them for that. But I think if we want to keep staying around, pushing for 6th or 7th, and we're realistic, we're all West Ham fans. I've been following this team for 60 years, that is a great position for us to be in, pushing for 6th and 7th. And I'm happy with that. But I don't think we can with what we got. We got to start rebuilding this team a bit. I know you can't do it overnight, but I think you got to start somewhere. And I think, that is a couple of positions that we're going to have to change soon enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's move on to some predictions then. Gary, I'm going to start with you. What are you feeling? Positive or not?
I never predicted a defeat, Jake, so I'm going to go for 1-1 and a penalty win.
You just robbed what I said last night. Were you watching or something?
I was.
No, you don't admit this stuff.
I thought that's a good idea. I'll go for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll take credit for it then. Curtis, how are you feeling prediction-wise?
Mixed. I'm going to go for a boring 0-0 because this fixture in the last few years, every time we played Arsenal, no team wants it. It's like they both try and throw the game. They've gone for a weakened side. We've gone for a stronger side that haven't been performing well. And I think it's been a stalemate at 0-0. And they'll probably nick a penalty shootout because they'll have the firepower to bring on the finishers.
I'm just listening to a video that's been sent where I'll stop it. Where the announcer Martin Godliman has read out the Arsenal lineup, and I'm just awaiting for him to say Declan Rice. So you listen to me this live. Here we go for the first time. We're getting there. Ready? Here we go. Can hear them boos already. You can watch that video up on the channel very shortly. But if you couldn't hear that, could you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, there was boos for the first time, and the stadium's got about 15 people in it, and there was boos going round. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good. So you can view that. It will be up on the channel very shortly.
If we do that and Declan Rice walks out for that, and they do the lineup as they're walking out, and he hears that, could it be another Lampard situation where he turns around and hates the fans? We don't really want that. Like, real hardcore fans don't really want that, because we show the homage to players like Rice. We know he's done everything that he could for us. He's in the record books for West Ham of being the third only captain to lift a major trophy for us. We don't want to remember Rice like a Lampard situation. So do you think that could turn pretty sour for him?
Yeah, but Lampard brought it on himself with things he said instead of Declan Rice.
Yeah. I think Rice is trying to backtrack from, like you said, when he started, when he went there and he said, "Oh, I know football and all this," that was
Yeah.
disrespectful to us. That was really disrespectful, and I was upset by that. I didn't like that at all. But he's trying to backtrack now, realising he got it wrong. He shouldn't have said that. I personally wouldn't boo him. If I was there tonight, I wouldn't boo him. I wouldn't take no notice of him. I think it's just best to not boo, not cheer him or anything. I think West Ham fans have got to be bigger than that. You know what I mean? I think we need to be bigger than booing him. I personally would not boo the lad. He's done a decent job for us. Okay, you know, we all knew he was going to Arsenal. You know, Arteta had chatted him up a long time ago. We knew he was going, you know, but at least he won us a trophy. He always give everything he got for us. To be fair to him, you know, he's been a good player for us. Yeah, move on. That's it. Move on. That's what I say.
Yeah, I'd agree. Curtis, we were just getting to your prediction, I think, so we will go with that before we start wrapping things up. Your prediction?
I said a boring 0-0 because no team likes it in this sort of fixture, in this cup fixture. And Arsenal will probably nip it on penalties like they always do.
Yeah. Fair enough. My prediction was 1-1 and the penalty win, but Gary nicked that. So, Gary, come on. What have you got to say for yourself?
You can't have that, Jake. I had that one.
This is my show. I do what I like. Thank you very much. Let's stamp some authority back down on it. My show, my rules. But yes, I will stick to the rules. Gary, you're on a tightrope. I've completely forgot my train of thought. Prediction. I couldn't go 1-1. You sent me right up the wall here. I'm going to go 2-2 and a win on penalties then. Desmond and a win on penalties. Gary, if you're not careful, I'll sell you a Pablo Di Canio ticket. There we go. Jolly good. So 2-2. Well, I don't know. Negotiations are fair. No, of course not. Okay. All right. Negotiation will continue. I'd never do that, Gary. Of course. Unless someone came in with 3 figures for it, then it's gone.
That's fine with
me. No, of course not. Yeah, 2-2 and a win on penalties with Declan Rice missing the last penalty.
Can you imagine?
Because I am just what's the word? Annoying like that. Right. Final thoughts, Gary. You can start.
What about Mike's prediction?
Did you do one, Mike?
No, I didn't.
Oh, sorry, Mike. Sorry, you're
Mike.
I never ever predict us to lose, Jake, and you know that, don't you?
I'm going to walk out this room if you predict us to lose, Mike.
So I can, because I've never predicted us to lose. So I'm going to go stupid, and I'll say we'll win 3-2.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely
Mike,
love it.
You still got sunstroke, mate.
Yeah.
It's getting to you a bit, mate.
And you two can have a pint of what I'm drinking. I know, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the rest. Right, let's take some of your final comments before we go. Right, predictions. 1-1, 2-1 to West Ham. Head says Arsenal by 2. Heart 1-1 win. On penalties, they are nothing. 3-0 hammers, says usual suspect. I like it. Good stuff. Thanks very much indeed, everybody, for watching. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to West Ham Official if you're new. Drop donations if you like. It's greatly appreciated. Channel memberships as well. Click the join button if you'd like to support the channel further. We will see you on the full-time whistle, I believe. I'll be joined by a couple of guests. Mike, if he's allowed up that late, and anyone else who wants to join me. So I'll get the link sent out for that, but it will be 9:30 unless we go to penalties. Could you imagine that? But from us, any final thoughts, lads?
Come on, Iwan. Let's have a good positive performance after the last 3.
Yeah, I think, do you know what? Even if we lose tonight, a positive performance is what we need, to take it on into Brentford on the weekend. So, yeah, I just want a real positive performance. Another poor one, and I think it's going to be, the next home game is going to be an interesting atmosphere.
Yeah. No, I agree. So can we all agree? I agree with a positive performance is paramount tonight. Of course, it's the cup, and performances don't matter as much. But I think just for the club going forward, a performance tonight will get everybody a little bit more satisfied going into Brentford, who we don't historically win away from home. Only in the Cup, in the FA Cup, we've beat them at their new place. But yeah, as I said, thank you very much for watching. Curtis, Mike, Gary, thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, Jake.
And until 9:30-ish, dependent on the situation with a potential penalty shootout, I will see you then. Thank you very much. And there could be some pretty glum faces at that time, or I'm going to be going absolutely mental because I've got a few Arsenal mates, that's for sure. Thank you very much. We will see you a little bit later on. Come on, you Irons.
Yeah, come on.
Thanks, lads. Thank you.